This song is for your playtime. So this song is dedicated to Evening and also to the memory of Grandma Evos. She's watching over us up in heaven. We love you.
Evening, this is your playtime song. Evening, this is your playtime song. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you. Bundle of joy.
Hi, I'm Sarah Johnson, Chief Education Officer at Carnegie Hall and Director of the Weill Music Institute, the Hall's education and social impact arm. In late summer of 2011, I sat in a big room at Jacobi Hospital in the South Bronx in an exploratory meeting about what might be next in Carnegie Hall's partnership with the hospital. There were staff, nurses, and doctors from Jacobi in the room, as well as teaching artists and staff from the hall. We had been working together for a couple of years, exploring multiple activities and program structures designed to bring musical work into the hospital setting to advance both musical and health goals. We often started planning conversations by hearing updates from the Jacobi team, the needs, opportunities, and goals the hospital was working on. And on that day, we heard about the experiences they were having with pregnant teens. Due to the stresses involved in pregnancy, particularly at a young age, many of these young women were having a hard time developing emotional attachment with their babies. Attachment is crucial for the long-term health and well-being of mothers and babies, and ultimately families. When we heard this, a couple of us thought immediately about lullabies, and the idea for the Lullaby Project was born. We wondered, what if young mothers had the opportunity to work with an artist to write their own lullaby specifically for their baby? That creative time might give those mothers the chance to step outside of the situation, to think and dream a little bit about what they hoped for their baby, and to put those hopes into lyrics and melodies. What could that experience do of working with an artist who was really focused on nurturing and lifting up the ideas and voice of the participating mom? Might it move the needle in some small way to support the overall well-being of young families? We piloted the project twice that fall and winter at Jacobi with powerful results. As the years went by, the project and the program structure has adapted to many different settings, but our priority is working with communities most impacted by inequity and injustice. That means we're working in the public health sector, the public education system, the correctional system, and with people experiencing homelessness. And we have expanded far beyond the original teen participants. We also partner with more than 45 organizations around the world, doing lullaby in a broader range of settings than we could ever have imagined, including collaborations with universities and their students to gain real-world experiences. Another crucial part of this project is our artist professional development, which has evolved substantially as the program has changed and artists' knowledge and capacities have grown. Each year, we host a big celebration concert featuring lullabies from projects all over the world, and I am always in awe of the incredibly generous and beautiful artistry on the stage, from teaching artists and participants, and the overwhelming sense of love everywhere in the room. In 2020, like everyone else, we had to figure out how to keep functioning with COVID. We've learned a lot from this process, and it has challenged some of our past assumptions. For example, we've learned that it is possible to do meaningful, collaborative lullaby writing work entirely through Zoom. We were surprised by the greater intimacy that can be created through a virtual medium when we are essentially seeing into each other's homes. This format also allows more family members to participate in the lullaby creation sessions, which is really wonderful. While we missed the in-person performance, we also saw how great it was to include images and videos of babies and families within the song videos themselves, as you saw in the Playtime for Evening example earlier. We have done extensive evaluation and research work with Dr. Denny Palmer-Wolfe on the impact of lullaby, which is also a big input into program evolution. Please check that out on our website if you're interested. I want to unpack a little bit some of the ways in which this example and the story of the evolution of lullaby may connect to the themes being explored at the symposium today. First, in relationship to the training of artists and what institutions and people supporting young artists can do. Artistically, we can make sure that improvisation and creative work, composing, songwriting, chart creation, etc., are part of every young musician's training. These are not only essential artistic and musical skills, they help support and develop general flexibility. We can reimagine curriculum, starting with the learning goals and the knowledge, experiences, understandings, and abilities that we know students need in order to build meaningful, sustaining, rewarding careers in the 21st century. Let's start there and then backwards map to what the curriculum should be and how school should even be structured. I know that many people are working on this, including at Peabody. We can give students more real-world, project-based learning experiences, chances to try out the skills they are developing, both artistically and in terms of teaching, engagement, entrepreneurship, and advocacy skills. We can encourage broad curiosity in students within and beyond their art form, and can also encourage students to wonder and pursue their understanding of what the arts can mean and do in the world. We know many answers to those questions, but there is more to learn. Moving for a moment to the topic of institutional responsiveness, nimbleness, and flexibility, the Lullaby Project and its evolution over many years is a good example. In the Weill Music Institute in general, we try to build programs in response to the needs of specific communities and settings, and that is definitely how Lullaby was created, as you heard earlier. It wouldn't have happened without our partnership with Jacobi Hospital, our ongoing, iterative, sometimes messy discussion as a group about what would make the most sense to do together, and Jacobi's staff's naming of the experience that they were having with young pregnant teens. We are set up as a department to work in this way, to build relationships with many different stakeholders, to work on program design responsively and collaboratively. To be clear, I am not saying that we are always successful, but this way of working is our goal. That approach doesn't end when we launch a program. Ongoing dialogue with participants, artists, stakeholders, and research drive program evolution on an ongoing basis. Professional development is also a place for this responsiveness, and the artists doing this work with us inform these programs and the way they function in critical ways. If we want the whole field to work more like this, we need to build institutional cultures rooted in inquiry and collaboration, which means developing leadership with this capacity. I personally think that curiosity is a big part of this, so finding artists and staff who bring that to the table is key. It's also very helpful to check our assumptions whenever possible, to ask good questions and really listen to responses from different perspectives. I am not saying that any of this is easy, but if we can find a way to build institutional practices that do these things, we are more likely to move in the direction of work that is meaningful and useful in the world. Thank you.
I love you to the moon and back. I'm sorry that I missed so many memories. I wish I could speed up time. I promise when I get home I won't leave your side again. Can't wait to watch you shine. I can't wait to watch you shine. I can't wait to watch you shine.